Good afternoon to all of you present here. Uh, First of all, I would like to welcome each of you to this BIMLABS Live session on rotation speeds in AutoCAD. So let me first introduce myself. My name is Nitin. I'm working at BIMLABS as a BIM application engineer. I'm actually working in the department of MEP, which is mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So I also take sessions in AutoCAD. So today I will be taking this session on annotation scales in AutoCAD. So let me just, before going into the session, just let me talk about some, or just give you some details about my company which I'm representing. So let's begin from there. Let me just share my screen first. So my screen is visible to all. So I'm actually representing a company which is based in Kerala, but we are also engaged in different activities in the Middle East as well. So the company's name is BIMLABS Global. We are actually a BIM service provider, as well as a BIM like BIM consultancy, you can say, and we also provide technical consultation in various aspects of BIM, like MEP, structural, landscaping, etc. So basically, it is about the whole 360-degree things about BIM. It is building information modeling. So basically, we are situated in Kerala in the southern part of India, and we are actually an Autodesk certified learning partner, a member of Indian Green Building Council. And the key business areas where we engage are the BIM training for students and corporate, and BIM implementation and support for corporate and organization, BIM project outsourcing, and BIM placement services. And these are the basic like products which we are providing for the customers. And for any more further information regarding our sessions and our training programs and other details, you can just email us or WhatsApp us, or just follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn, which we are very active in, and you can get daily updates regarding the various BIM projects and the BIM ideas or the BIM development which are currently happening in this field. So, as I said, we are actually a certified and authorized learning partner in association with Autodesk and AutoCAD. And we also have certification from Bentley and Vexel Manager. We are also certified of Indian certification from Indian Building Information Modeling Association, as well as the Indian Green Building Council. So these are the some of our credentials which you can look for on our social media platforms and just verify those. So we are having almost all certifications in all aspects by providing quality education and training for our students. So basically, our organization structure is like this. We have a corporate office in Kalkutam, Trivandrum, which is in Kerala, and we are also having four other branches. The training institute branches, which are situated at Statue, which is also in Trivandrum, and we have one branch at Cochin, and we also have another branch in Calicut. All these are in Kerala. And we also have a project management division in Dubai, which is currently operational. And we are actually working on a project, which is a warehousing project. And we're actually currently doing a project on that, which is in Dubai. We also have another project division, which is known as BIM Studio. It's located in Technopark, Trivandrum, where we do corporate projects and all. Yeah, like we are mainly doing MEP projects as well as architectural, landscaping, and all different projects which are related to BIM. We are doing it in our project division, which is known as BIM Studio. So the key areas where BIMLABS is flourishing is our finishing school of BIM Studio, and a third area is known as Bridge. Finishing school, as I said earlier, we are a certified training platform or a certified training partner with Autodesk. We provide training in CAD, BIM, CAM, which is computer-aided manufacturing, AE courses, etc. Then the last slide, as I said, we have a project division known as BIM Studio, where we are doing projects in design, documentation, and implementation. And third one is Bridge, which is actually our placement division. We are actually having tie-up with many different organizations, almost 70 plus organizations we have tie-up with, and companies that we have tie-up with. So after the completion of a course with us, you can get placement in these companies. So when these companies have having a requirement, we are the first one to be opted. They will just come to us and say that we have certain amount of requirement MEP or in general BIM application, etc., etc. They will say to us, and we will be providing the students, our students who are trained in these key areas where their requirement is needed. So that's basically what Print is doing. They provide placement assistance to our students. So the last 2 years, we have placed almost 60 plus students. Um, and in the current, I think in the last batch of almost all the students got placed in very different companies where they have started working as well. So that's something about Bridge Placement Division. Uh, so the next thing, as I said, some of our certifications and our recognitions are the main one is Autodesk Certified Learning Partner, and IGBC, which is Indian Green Building Council registered institution, and capacity building partner for various TC, which is architecture, engineers, and contractors firms in South India as well. So these are some of our key recognitions. And main things we have the authorized training center, we have authorization with Autodesk and Bentley, and authorized academic partner with Autodesk, and we are members of the Indian BIM Association and the Indian Green Building Council. So that's some things about our company. So let's just jump into the session quickly. And so what we are looking into through this session is annotation scales in AutoCAD. So before going into this subject, let me just explain what the AutoCAD software basically is. So AutoCAD software was found in 1989 December, which was the first product of Autodesk. And basically, before that, we used to make plan drawings and the structural drawings of different buildings or the architectural models of different buildings using hand sketches. So it was a tedious task and it required a lot of time and attention. And if once a mistake was committed, it was really difficult to change those mistakes. So that's why Autodesk came up with this platform known as AutoCAD, where we could draw or draft the models of of the buildings using different tools which are provided there. So one of the main advantage of AutoCAD over the primitive hand drawing technique was that we have an infinite workspace where we can draw as much as we want. One of the limitation of the pen and paper method was the paper field was a confined in a confined space. So we were unable to draw like big structures into a single sheet of paper. But when we come to AutoCAD, we have an infinite workspace where we can create or draw the entire plan or elevation of anything of a building inside that single workspace. That was one of the most important advantage of Autodesk. Sorry, AutoCAD. So that's some basic things we can say about AutoCAD. Now let's come into our topic: annotation skills. Inside AutoCAD, as I said, we can draft 2D and 3D objects or 3D and 3D models of different objects. So mainly we will be, since we are based on and construction industry, we will be focusing on a plan for an elevation, some drawings which are related to buildings. So let's take in the case of a plan view of a building. So when we are drawing, there are different detailing which are done into a drawing. Like when we are creating a plan view of a building floor, we will create those walls, we will create the ceilings, create some components like desk, benches, the seats, or the like the line space or fans. If you're doing electrical drawings, you will create lights. All these things come under the model category. So these are actually the part of the building which we are about to construct or which we are about to design. These are all these things are part of uh, the model which we are about to construct. Other than that, there are some other detailing which are added to this plan view. Those things, what we are calling as annotations. So basically, annotations, the definition of annotation is these are objects that include dimensions, notes, and other type of explanatory symbols or objects that are commonly used to add information to your drawing. So basically, what it means is that annotations are objects which are not part of a building or a drawing, but these are the symbols which we need to represent a certain thing, or these are the symbols which give us information to the person who is going to interpret this drawing. So basically, these all things come under annotations. So some basic annotations that we have that is discussed here are dimensions and notes, and there are many other things like text, for example, is an annotation. When we are drawing some plan views and all, we will keep text below that in order to specify what type of drawing is that. If you are drawing a first floor plan, we will give a title or a text below the drawing as first floor plan. So these texts are considered as annotations. So what is the difference between a normal annotation or an annotation scale or a or we can say that it's a normal scale versus an annotation scale. So basically, when we are drawing a specific plan or a specific view, when we are drawing that object and giving a specific text or an annotation to that object, we will be drawing the entire model in a specific scale, in a specific scale. Okay, so the scale will be either be in the live scale, which is 1:1, or it will be in a scale down model, which you can use like 1:50 or 1:100 scaled versions. So once we are drawing that specific drawing in a specified scale, and once we are transferring it to the papers, we will be scaling down those objects. If we are drawing the plan view in 1:1 scale, in order to fit the model inside. Okay. So, as I was saying, once you have created a drawing in the like workspace in a specified scale, and once we are transmitting that scale or we are copying that object into the papers or the sheets, we will be scaling down that subject. But once we scale down the drawing which we have created in the workspace, these annotations will be in small dimensions. Like they may not be very huge thing or very big. Once we scale down that object, the visibility of this dimensions or the text will be affected. They will be scaled down to such a small region so that it will not be legible. So that's why Autodesk or AutoCAD came with annotation scales. So what annotation scale basically do is that once you give an annotation a specific scale, uh, and once we transfer it to the papers, and even if we change the scale of that view, the scale of the annotation will not be affected. So that's what basically annotation scale is about. So let me just explain it once more. Uh, Once we give a specific dimension or an annotation scale, even though when we change the scale of the entire object, the scale of the annotation will not be affected. So that's what is annotation scale is. Now let me just show you how to create an annotation scale in AutoCAD. For that, I will be going to my AutoCAD software. Let me just create a new project here. So let me just draw something here. I'll just take the rectangle tool and I'll just give it some dimensions. I'll give 2000 to 2500 dimension for rectangle. And I will just use the line to divide it in half. Okay. And I'll just give some hatch in these two regions. Okay. So that I will come to draw panel and drop down hatch. And I will select one hatch. Let's use some line hatch. I've given a hatch here, but pattern is so closely packed so that it's not visible, I'll just do the spacing as 10 and click enter. So the hatch is visible. And I'll just give the same hash to the second region as well. And I'll just go to dimension it. As I said earlier, we need to have an annotation inside our project. Then only you can provide an annotation scale. So just give an this given dimension to our drawing. I'll just go over here. And I have given a dimension here. But as you can see here, the dimension which I gave really small and it's not really visible. If something like this happen while you are drawing, we can just increase the text size of the dimension by just clicking the dimension, and inside the property panel, we can just scroll down. And in the text option, there is text height. Click there and just give a higher value and click in. So that the dimension size has increased. I'll just do the same here as well. Just do the dimension here also. Just click on it, go down text, and I'll just change the color. Sorry, change the height. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'll just give one of this dimension as annotative scale, and I will just keep the other dimension as it is. I'm not giving it, I'm not specifying it as annotative. So in order to just distinguish between both, I will just so in order to just distinguish between both of that things, I'll just change the color of the second dimension, which I'm about to give it specify it as annotative scale. I'll just click on that dimension and just scroll it down. And in general tab, you have that option to change the color. Just click on it and drop down and change the color to green. Also doing the same thing to the hatch as well. So hatch is also considered as an annotation inside AutoCAD. Okay, just changing the color of the hatch as well. So how can you specify an annotation to be annotative scale? So that's what I'm going to do next. I'll just escape from all the tools and just click on the dimension. And inside the properties panel, I can just scroll down and come to miscellaneous. And here it is, we have an option known as annotative. So it's currently set to no. I'll just drop down it and set to yes. Okay. Once we set a dimension or an annotation to annotative scale, once we bring the crosshair near to that object, you can see a small marking over there. That means that it's that specific annotation is given an annotative scale. If I bring it to this object or this dimension, that marking is not over there. So it is not specified as annotative scale. It will only come when I bring it to object which I have specified as annotative. Okay, I'll just do the same thing to my hatch as well. I'll come select my hatch and this will come down. And there is inside the patterns panel, there is annotative option. It's currently set to no. I'll just drop it down and make it annotative. Okay. So I have made both this object as annotative. Sorry, this dimension and this hatch as annotative. As I bring the crosshair close to that hatch, you can see that symbol over the crosshair, which is stating that that specific annotation is made into an annotative scheme. Okay, so I made this object over here, and if I just come down to the status bar and I change the scale of this view, it's currently set to 1:1 scale, and I will just bring it up to 1:1. Okay, as you can see, as I changed the scale of this view, it only affected the what? It only affected the dimension or the annotation which I have specified as annotative scale. So that's how this annotative scale thing works. So I just give it to as 2:1. You can see the size of the hatch and as well as the dimension has changed. Now, if you just closely look at my crosshair, you can see two symbols have appeared over there. What it specifies is that multiple scales has been applied to this annotation. So since I have used two scales here, I have given 1:5 and 2:1. That's why multiple symbols have appeared over there, which is specifying that multiple scales has been applied to that specific annotation. Okay, so far, just bring it back to 1:1 scale. And once I go to my layout one, which is the paper space, we have a current viewport already set over here. I'll just delete that viewport and I'll create a new one. I'll just right click on my layout and I'm going to page setup manager. I'm just going to create a new page. So I'm going there and just in this pop-up window, we click new and rename it as just rename it as my page. And click OK. And then the printer type or the specific uh, type which the DWG file has to be converted, has to be specified here. I'll just click on PDF, DWG to PDF. DWG is the extension for AutoCAD drawings, and I want to convert it to PDF. So I'm selecting that. And the scale I have currently set to 1:1. And plot style, I'll just keep it as monochrome. I just want only it in black and white. So I'll keep it as monochrome itself. And orientation, I'll keep it in landscape and click OK. I'll select my page and I'll click close. And a new page has been created. So once the page has been created, I'll come to my tabs and I'll go to View tab and select rectangular inside layout viewports. I'll choose rectangular and I'll just create a new viewport over. Okay, as I created my viewport, the design or the object which I have created in the workspace is visible over here. Now I'll just click on in the status bar. I will just click on show and annotative objects icon, and I'll just enable it and toggle it to on position. If it's not available in your status bar, you can just come to this customization option over here and just click on this annotation visibility and annotation monitor and all, and so that this option will be added to your status bar. Okay, so I'll just turn it on and I'll just click inside the viewport that I have just created. And here the scale is set to 0.08. I'll just come here and I'll just reduce the scale to 1:1. So as I have reduced the scale, you can see the annotation which I have specified as annotative scale has increased in size. But in reality, it's actually the mere opposite of what it had. So what I just did is give the scale as 1:20, which basically means we are scaling down that object. Means we are converting that size of that object into 1/20th of the original size. So what just happened here right now is, as I've given the scale here, the scale of the object which was not specified as annotative scale has shrunk to the size of 1/20th of its original size. But what happened to the objects which are specified as annotative scale had retained its original size. So that's what just happened here. If I just again just click on the viewport and I will just change the size to 1:60, 1:20. Again, you can see the size of this what we call the hatch, which was not specified as annotative scale, has again changed to the size of 1/20th of its original size. But what happened to the annotation which we have specified as annotative scale has retained its size. In order to visually understand what is happening here, I'll just show a PDF which I have already created earlier during the day. Then you will be able to understand most of it. Okay, I'll just come down this spot and just show you how it happened. So this is basically what it's really happening over in the paper space over there. The same objects which we have drawn right now, and represented in different scales. So here it's in 1:1 scale. So basically here both the dimensions and the hatch pattern it's in the same size. So I just shifted it to 1:2 scale, and as you can see here, the annotations or the dimension or and the hash which was not specified as annotative scale has increased its size to 2 times its original size. Since it is given as 2:1 scale, it will double its size. But what happened to the dimension and the hash which was specified as annotative scale? It had retained its size. If you observe here, this both 1:1 scale and 2:1 scale, both the green pattern is having the same size. Again, once you reduce the scale size to 1:2, what happens? The hatch and the dimension without annotative scale has reduced its size to 1/2 of its original size. Again, what happened to the dimension which was specified as annotative has retained its size. So this is what the basic idea of annotative scaling is. Uh, so that's what really I want to convey through this session, what annotative scaling really means. I hope it's clear.